fears, and you never really think about it. This whole idea of taking an innocent creature and slaughtering it and hurting it is to me an abomination.
Some of the world's greatest religions express the same attitude to animal life. In India, the Hindus teach that animals like humans have souls and are evolving towards a higher consciousness. The cow is considered especially sacred. No Hindu will kill or eat one. Buddha urged his followers to refrain from destroying any life. As a result, many Buddhists today are vegetarians. Another Eastern religion, Jainism, found its central principle in ahimsa, reverence for all life. In their attempt to minimize violence to any sentient being, all Jains are practicing vegetarians. At the Jain Meditation International Center in New York, Western Jains celebrate Thanksgiving with a vegetarian feast. The founder of the center and the first Jain master to bring this philosophy to the West was Sri Chitrabhanu.
And as we feel the pain and pleasure, in the same way other living beings also experience the same thing. And everybody has, or everything has the right to live. So our life must be such that we minimize our violence and we don't become a burden or pain to any living being.
The Jain teachings deeply influenced Mahatma Gandhi, who led India to independence. Gandhi, a Hindu, embraced non-violence and the practice of the vegetarian way of life. In France, one of Gandhi's disciples founded the community of the Ark. Here in an ancient French abbey, over 100 people, most of them Catholic, live in a self-supporting vegetarian community. Members of the Ark are committed to non-violence and the fundamental unity of all religions. The Jewish faith, too, contains ancient writings supporting a vegetarian outlook. The chief rabbi of Israel is a vegetarian, as is the chief rabbi of Haifa, Shar Yeshev Cohen.
Very deep in our Kabbalah, which is the mystic tradition of the Jewish religion, is the belief that you can find in a human being, and you can find in an animal, the same living spirit, which is divine. It's true, the Jewish religion allowed animal food to be consumed, and it's part of the religion, the procedure of eating kosher food. You limit the number of animals you can eat, the kind of animals you can eat, but we explain all that as stages educating mankind towards the ideal of being a vegetarian.
In the West, we are encouraged to eat meat from a very early age, and we think nothing of it. Or do we?
Studies have been done on the reactions of children to the discovery that they're eating the flesh of animals. At the Primal Center in Toronto, Canada, psychologist Eric Weiner.
Freud wrote, and I quote, that the child unhesitatingly attributes full equality to animals. He probably feels himself more closely related to the animal than to the undoubtedly mysterious adult. In our society, we augment this tendency tremendously. We give stuffed teddy bears to children, dogs, toy ducks, all kinds of animals. Their storybooks and their cartoons are populated by talking animals.
Look, Boo, the path ends at a straw house. Pardon me, little piggies. We're lost, and we're looking for our home.
Well, you're home now if you want to live in this house.
We then take this child, and at some point around 5 or 6, they become aware that what they're eating is nothing less than their beloved animals. Most children given the choice, I think, would become vegetarians.
I am a vegetarian because I like animals, and I don't like to see them suffer or hurt or anything like that.
When Milena was about 5, we were having dinner one day, I think it was lamb chops, and she pointed to it and she said, "Is that an animal?" And we said, "Yes, it is." She said, "What kind of animal is that?" And I said, "Lamb." And she was absolutely appalled that this should be a real animal, come from a real animal. And she said, "But I don't understand. Why are you eating this? If you say you love animals, how come you're eating it?" And my husband and I didn't have an answer for that.
Most of us pick up our nicely packaged steak or chicken or fish as if meat grew painlessly like apples or plums on a tree. Meat is so much a part of our culture that we think there's something odd if we don't eat. We even think that there's no other choice. But there is. Are you aware that animals are suffering in order to put food on our tables? For example, a veal calf spends its 14-month life imprisoned in a tiny pen. Exercise toughens muscles, so movement is restricted, and the animal is deliberately kept anemic, all for the sake of tender white meat, the fashionable milk-fed veal. The calf's short life is punctuated with a battery of injections, growth hormones, weight-inducing drugs, and antibiotics to keep the animal alive in spite of its weakened condition. What's the effect of all this? At McMaster University, Canadian biochemist and vegetarian Ross Hume Hall offers 2 reasons for questioning our veal calf procedures.
The physiology of the animal is really disturbed, and when you get meat from these kinds of animals, you're eating meat that's not from